live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, 8 p.m. Brand new week, getting started. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to do the news. Vinnie Mac is here. He's going to do some news as well. Slick's going to do some sports. As soon as he decides to show up, he's got his chamber meeting tonight, probably, or something. He's got something very important to do.
A lot of traffic. A lot of traffic at Wendy's, I believe. The drive-thru was bumper to bumper.
Exactly. So, lots to do on a busy Monday. Glad you're in as well on socials. Wherever you're watching on socials, make sure you hit the like, subscribe to the channel, comment. Let's help get the social numbers out there. Now, listen, here's my thing to the audience tonight. Tonight is not the night to mess around in the chat. Because in studio, with Aaron and Fran, of course, who are always holding it down, we have Rav Mod 1 and Rav Mod 2 live in Studio 6B tonight. So if you mess around in the chat tonight, like if Delgado goes in the chat and starts saying things I don't like, and I'll see it on my screen, all I have to do is say Rav Mod 1, zap Delgado, he's gone.
Right.
He's out.
No more comments about your extremely large head. They'll be done.
Nothing.
Right.
Out. Gone. Rav Mod 2, zip, gone. So tonight's not the night to mess around in the chat because you will extra zappage going on tonight, Delgado, right?
Yes. Extra double zap. You're going to get double zapped from both ends.
Exactly. That's it. So.
It's not not bad on a Saturday night, but not here on Monday.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was good, filled with cycling galore.
Oh, how many miles?
130.
No, I mean, seriously, are you like a Snoop and Glue, or like what is your deal? 130 miles on a bike?
Well, I did 56 on Saturday and 74 on Sunday.
Is it a moped or a bike? Didn't really go.
No, you actually pedals.
Yeah,
no, it was my bicycle.
Where do you go? Out east? Is that
out east.
Yeah, nice, very good. It's nice.
We started out in a little hamlet of Rocky Point and made our way out to past out the Hamptons, Dune Road. Oh, good times.
Oh, Dune Road. That's
good times.
Yeah. That's where I'd like to. Well, if I had Vinnie Mac money, I'd buy a house on Dune Road, but I don't. So.
And you know what's crazy is how many Trump flags I saw.
Really?
Wow. In the Hamptons. In the Hamptons.
Well, yeah, because they don't want to pay any taxes.
We all try to avoid it if we can.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So, that's how you have a house on Dune Road.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, Dune Road is pretty crazy in West Hampton Beach. Exactly right.
Man, it used to be nuts. You were too young for this, and I think actually you probably weren't down here at this time.
You talking to Vin?
I'm talking about you.
Oh.
Talking to you, Vin. Vin was probably. I probably saw Vin out there staggering between beach clubs on Dune Road at some point.
I was known to wind up in the lifeguard chair about midnight. I'm not going to tell you with who, but every once in a while.
Just let me know if that thing starts. We have Trump up, Twitter Space announcement. Really, only a few hours ago, he said he was going to do this. So we do have it up. We're currently waiting, I believe. I don't believe it started, right, Fran?
They have not started yet, no.
Okay, so they have not started, but we are in, just like last time. Remember, we were one of the choice few that were in because a lot of people could not get in. And we are in currently waiting for President Trump. Who's the host for, what was it?
Farouk, I think.
Farouk. Oh, for good old Farouk.
Whoa.
Is hosting this Twitter space. I have no idea who that is. Should I?
I don't know who it is.
Okay. I have no idea who that is.
They are mic checking right now, so they'll probably start soon.
Mic checking right now. So before we get to Trump, Vinnie Mac, how are you?
I'm good. Good.
How was your weekend?
Great weekend. You know, I did a little boxing and I played a little tennis.
You've been boxing for as long as we've been doing this show, which is now about 10 years together. With you taking a break, obviously.
Yeah. Actually, 11 years. And anyone out there that's ever battling anything, I recommend join a boxing club, get in great shape. Your mind, your body, you'll feel great. That's how I used it.
People don't know. I mean, maybe people who watched the show back in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 remember, but you battled cancer.
Yeah. I was. The doctor told me, hey, you got 2 months, 8 weeks before we have to start, all whatever we got to do and surgery and all that. I drove into a boxing place and I talked to the guy and I said, hey, you got 8 weeks to turn me into a middleweight. And I did. I was there every day. I worked really hard, and I recovered really quick. And,
wow.
Mentally and physically, it helped a lot. So that and listening to Frampton Comes Alive, every couple of minutes, that helped me out.
Okay, very good. All right, so Slick will be here as well. So President Trump announced he's going to do this Spaces. I guess he announced it today. Someone in social media is saying no Trump, guys. Did he cancel this? Is this we being misled here? I don't. Okay. So Trump's going to do this Spaces tonight with somebody named Farouk or something, and I have no idea who that is, or if we're supposed to know who that is. I don't know why, but I don't know who that is. And I looked at his Twitter profile, and he's got a what do you call those crypto things? He's got an NFT of a cyberpunk, I think they're called, as his profile. So maybe this is this new Trump crypto thing he's doing, that maybe he's going to talk about that. I thought this was going to be obviously in relation to what happened this weekend.
Well, I'm sure that's going to come up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, how do you not talk about that?
Exactly. Because I was in Vermont this weekend, and let me just say this. I didn't see a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters.
Ooh.
But I also didn't have any. I don't know how people in Vermont live in. I mean, it's beautiful. And I guess if you go to live there, maybe you don't care about technology. There is no cell phone service in the whole damn state. I mean, I was 4 or 5 hours sometimes, could not find a signal.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is the mountains there, man. There's no way. You can't get anything out there.
I was like, what is going on here?
Did you hook up to what is it, the SpaceX thing?
I mean, honestly, that's what I needed. I needed Starlink, and I didn't have it because I couldn't get signal anywhere throughout the whole damn state. And I drove up to as north as Killington, which was like an hour and a half from Mount Dover or West Dover, wherever I started, which was just over the border. So, I mean, I covered a pretty decent amount. And I mean, I just couldn't get cell phone service anywhere.
That's crazy.
Now
And there was roads that we would drive down at night. If we ever got a flat tire, you would probably never have seen me again. Vinny would do the show with. I mean, I just would be gone.
We'd try and beam you in here if we could.
No pavement, no lights, no
it's
nothing.
dark.
There are actual pictures of Damon walking around in Vermont, but people mistook it for Sasquatch.
Yeah, it was all Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
okay. But you were college tours, right? You were looking at schools?
Yeah, it was something else, boy.
You know what I
what do
equate
you wanna
looking at
take?
colleges to these days is going to either buy a condo or a timeshare. Because the schools aren't like what they used to be when I guess in my era at least, they are selling facilities, steakhouses, all these amazing things. As a matter of fact, I raised my hand in one at High Point in North Carolina.
Oh, that place is gorgeous.
They had a steakhouse, they had a concierge,
Yeah.
they had laundry, and I raised my hand. I said, how much does 2 weeks cost? I want 2 weeks a year, a little timeshare, and I'm all good.
Yeah.
That place
Where's
is
the library?
that place is like $70,000 a year. That place.
I mean,
That's what I mean.
It's insane.
How can how can that be justified? I mean, it's just come on.
They're selling facilities.
Stop the madness.
Well, down in Florida, I told you about this one because I did a whole thing on it. That college campuses these days should be the new retirement communities. They offer so many amenities at FGCU down in Fort Myers. Not only does your tuition get you school classes, you go, so it keeps your brain busy, but they have water skiing, they have jet skis, they have free shuttle service all around the campus. They've got different dining things. It's gorgeous. This place is phenomenal.
It's so funny
like
you say
sandals for kids.
Someone just said it's like the Rodeo Drive of North Carolina.
It is. It's an amazing place.
What, High Point? Yeah.
It's an amazing. But I came up with this idea many years ago when I went to school in California, Pepperdine in Malibu, and I went there and I was like, how did I wind up in this place? It's amazing. I want to go back as an adult. And I came up with this idea called Seniorversity to do exactly what you're talking about, where you can go back, go to school, enjoy the facilities, and as a senior, 55 and over. I'd sign up for that in a second.
Well, you can identify it too in 55 now and just go, or 60, whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there you go.
You can be a cheerleader.
I could be a cheerleader.
Yeah, sure, whatever. You can do anything you want.
Diversity is there.
Yeah.
I could be it.
Well, I mean, it was fun, but I mean, I don't know. There's just no cell phone service anywhere. Like anywhere. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a dead zone.
So I heard you guys were at the America's First Warehouse, some of you this weekend as well.
Yes.
And AMAC had a very successful Saturday, I heard. Are we starting now at the Spaces, friend, maybe I heard, possibly?
They're doing a brief intro. I don't know if they're started with Trump yet, but they're.
Oh, let's listen in and see what they're talking about. We can hear what this is going to sound like.
And really, the fact that after all of this, you've chosen to proceed with this interview blows my mind. It speaks volume, Mr. President, and thank you for being here tonight.
Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate the remarks.
Sounds like they're starting.
It was quite something, but it worked out well, and Secret Service did an excellent job. And they have the man behind bars, and hopefully he's going to be there for a long time. Dangerous person, very, very dangerous person. but I appreciate the comments very much.
Well, I appreciate you for allowing me to interview you in your wonderful Mar-a-Lago home, which is truly an honor, and I'm very grateful for it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Mr. President, I can say that myself, like I was saying, in the crypto community, and millions of Americans are relieved that you're here with us today after the second attempt on your life at the Trump National Golf Club. It's just horrifying. Can you run us through what happened?
So I was playing golf with some of my friends. It was on a Sunday morning, and very peaceful, very beautiful weather. Everything was beautiful. It was a nice place to be. And all of a sudden we heard shots being fired in the air, and I guess probably 4 or 5. And it sounded like bullets, but what do I know about that? But Secret Service knew immediately it was bullets. And they grabbed me, and I think probably the other one, Steve is one of the people, Steve Witkoff, a great friend of mine, a great businessman from mostly New York and Florida, great businessman, and more importantly, just a fantastic person. So we're in the group, and everybody we got into the carts, and we moved along pretty good. I was with an agent, and the agent did a fantastic job. There was no question that we were off that course. I would have loved to have sank that last putt, but we decided, well, let's get out of here. And what the gunfire was actually, interestingly, was a Secret Service agent had seen a barrel of a AK-47, which is a very powerful rifle, and he started shooting at the barrel, started shooting. It was in the bushes.
Wow.
Could only see the barrel. How good is that, right? But could only see the barrel. Based on that, he started shooting and ran toward the target and was shooting a lot of, those were the shots we heard. The other one never got a shot off. And he ran across the street and grabbed his car, hopped into his truck or car. And amazingly, a civilian in that area saw something, and it looked very suspicious. And in the car, drove their car to the back of his truck of some kind, and took pictures of the license plate, gave them to the sheriff's office. Sheriff Bradshaw is fantastic, very great sheriff for a long time. And within a fairly short period of time, they tracked him down on the highway. It was a pretty high-speed chase. And they ended up getting him. They got him. Because you wouldn't want to have somebody like that out there. He dropped his gun, the AK-47. He left his gun. He left cameras behind, left a lot of things behind. So the agent did a fantastic job. The civilian did a phenomenal job. A woman. Who would think you could take 1,000 times like that? How many people would have the brain power to follow him and take pictures of the back of his truck so that they end up getting, and the key was the license. So they got the license, and after they had the license, there's all sorts of technology where they can literally pinpoint where this truck is. I never knew something like that existed. And they pinpointed him on the highway. They got him with a high-speed chase. So they got him. It was amazing. So Secret Service did a great job. And I think I can say honestly, the sheriff's office, law enforcement, everybody really did a great job.
Incredible.
Very happy about that.
That's incredible to hear.
Thank you.
And backup question to that second fold is, this was the second attempt in your life in under 2 months. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on. A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they talk about threat to democracy and all of this, and it seems that both of these people were radical lefts. The first one, they should learn more about. They have apps that they haven't opened yet, which is pretty strange. And the father went out and got the biggest lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania, which is pretty strange, about the father of the shooter we're talking about in Butler, the first one. And that's pretty strange. There are a couple of pretty strange things going on there. I can say this, the Secret Service was very brave in the sense that bullets were flying, and when I went down, I purposely went down. I saw what was happening, and people are probably screaming. I'm not sure if I recognized that, but I went down, and Secret Service, they were right there with bullets flying right at them, and they weren't hit, but 3 other people were, Corey, a firefighter, and 2 other gentlemen who they thought died. And actually, the doctors in Butler were unbelievable. They saved their lives. And we've actually raised a lot of money for the families and the family of Corey and the two gentlemen. And they both lived. They thought they were dead. The first thing I asked when I came up, I said, how many people are dead? Because we had a massive crowd. And with all those bullets flying, so 3 got hit. But there was a great display of bravery. I mean, it was incredible. Normally, the crowd experts will tell you when they hear bullets, and we heard a lot of bullets going off.
Right.
A crowd would. This was a massive crowd. You couldn't even see the end of it in a big field, and that the crowd always runs. They call it a stampede, like cattle. I mean, they stampede, and a lot of people get killed when they stampede. But they hear bullets, but nobody ran.
They all stayed.
Tens of thousands of people. Nobody ran. In fact, you can see it in the small group behind me. There was a group of probably a couple of hundred people behind me, and nobody ran. In fact, they're standing up. Some of them are standing up looking for the shooter. The other one has to get credit to local law enforcement. There was a gentleman that shimmied up to the roof, saw the man with a gun, and probably made him go faster than he would normally go, and so he didn't exactly hit the target the way he wanted. There's something going on. I mean, perhaps it's God wanting me to be president to save this country. Nobody knows, but when I made the right turn, it's very unusual because the people weren't on the right. The people were standing out in front of me. When I turned my head at an exact 90-degree angle, the bullet came zooming by and clipped my ear. And the reason so much blood, they told me at the hospital, I said, why so much? The ear is the bloodiest part of the body because of cartilage. He was giving me a whole description. I said, you don't have to tell me, but it was a mess. But amazing bravery shown, amazing talent, like the doctor saving the two men that were hit. They were hit really badly. I won't tell you exactly what happened. They were hit badly. And they both lived. Corey didn't make it. Corey was in bad shape. We had a person from the National Guard about 10 seats over from Corey run to his aid, and he was hit in the head, with all of that, was giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation because he was still alive.
Wow.
And people couldn't believe it. They thought it was such an incredible act. Who would do it? It would, just an amazing thing. And we're going to take care of him too, because just the fact that he could do it, and some other people. So it was amazing bravery. There was a mistake made, a bad mistake. That one building was unmanned on top.
Very.
And that was a mistake. There's nothing you can say about it. But that was some crazy day. And then yesterday you had another one with a different result. Actually, much better result, because we lost Corey, and two gentlemen were very badly hurt, but they're in pretty good shape now. Right. A lot of talent. Those local doctors up there had tremendous talent.
Love to hear that. Well, this is more of a personal question.
Okay.
Just turned 30 last week. We were just chit-chatting outside the room here. Young entrepreneur, son, aspiring father one day. Mm-hmm. With all of your success, you have a wonderful family. A couple of your sons are actually looking at us right now. You have a wonderful business for yourself, a wonderful life for yourself. You could be on the golf course without worrying about gunmen coming at you. But after multiple attempts at your life, you're still here. You've already been president of the United States of America once. You're about to be president of the United States of America again.
I hope so.
We hope so. Why do you do this? What motivates you?
So we have a country that's in trouble, a country that I love. I love the people of this country, people like Corey, who were just this massive Trump fan, and he got hit. But people like that, they're in love with the country, and they hate seeing what's happened to the country when you have 21 million people pouring in from all countries all over the world, from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums. Insane asylums, and they are different. Even prisons and jails, they are different. One's a little more severe than the next. They're coming in as terrorists, and they're coming into our country at levels that nobody's ever seen, and they're taking over our towns, and they're taking over small cities and big cities. I mean, look at New York, look at Chicago, look at LA. Tens of thousands of these people, and they're rough people in many cases. I mean, they are rough, tough people. Venezuela gangs. If you look at Aurora in Colorado, you have a governor that doesn't know what he's doing. He's petrified to be there. He doesn't know what to say. I mean, they're literally taking over real estate. They're becoming real estate developers in a much different way, right? They're taking over buildings. Everyone's afraid of them. And they have a big AK, talking about AK-47s. That's what they have. They carry massive guns. You say, where would they get this kind of power? And they're vicious people. They're gang members from Venezuela, largely, and known as being one of the roughest gangs anywhere in the world. You have MS-13, which is a bad gang, and you have these guys. And we're going to clean them out. We're going to get them out. But the bottom line, just to answer it quickly, I love the country. We're going to make America great again, and we'll be able to do it. We did it once, and we'll do it again, and much easier this time. The border is in much worse shape than it's ever been. This is the worst border there's ever been in any country. They have not done the job that they have to do. I mean, you have Kamala, she was the border czar. I call her the comrade because she's a Marxist. She wants to tax everybody out of business. She wants to raise taxes to 70, 80%. She wants an unrealized capital gain tax, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Nobody's ever even heard of such a thing. And they'll put everybody out of business. We'll end up in a depression if she gets in. And very simply, though, we're going to make America great again, greater than ever before, and I love doing it.
Being from Canada, I can probably relate to what that means.
Yeah. You've got some problems.
A crypto entrepreneur based in Montreal here, so it's it's not always the best feeling as someone who's trying to build something out of nothing here. Speaking of which, I'm wondering now. I know this is quite different, right? But I know many people in crypto feel this way as we're trying to change the financial system. Quite literally, we're trying to change things and make a difference, but it always feels like there's some sort of a force against us. In your case, do you feel similarly that there's a force out there to get you?
Well, you have a radical left force, and we have forces, I say that we have a lot of evil in the world. The world is a nasty place, and you can see that with some of the things that have happened. We've been treated, I think, very unfairly, but I've done so well. It's an amazing country in some ways, but we have evil forces. You have the outside forces with the enemies, and you call them Russia, China, various places. I don't know that they're enemies. I think we'll get along great with China. I think we'll get along great with Russia. I want to get Russia to settle up with Ukraine and stop this. Millions of people being killed, far greater than the number you read about. But I want to get that done before I even take office. I want to get that done as president-elect because it has to be solved. Too many people dying. Too many cities are just in rubble right now. You look at the culture is just being destroyed. Mm-hmm. We got to get that done, and I'll get it done. There wouldn't have been an October 7th. There wouldn't have been Russia attacking Ukraine. There wouldn't be inflation. All this inflation, which has hurt people so badly. You wouldn't have had that horrible type of withdrawal. We were getting out of Afghanistan, but with dignity and strength. That was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And frankly, Russia would have never gone into Ukraine if it weren't for that. They looked at that and they said, this country is no longer run by Trump. This country is run by stupid people. And we have a great military. I took out ISIS in 4 weeks, and everyone said it was going to take 4 or 5 years. I took them out in 4. Our military is great, but you have to have the right leadership running it. So the bottom line is that it can be nasty. But it's only going to get worse. If I don't win, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get really bad. We'll end up being Venezuela on steroids. We'll end up in 1929 type depressions. And we have to make sure that this person doesn't get in. This is far worse than Biden. That was if you think of it, that was an overthrow of a president. He won. He had 14 million votes. He had no votes. Crazy Nancy Pelosi walked in, and some of the others, and they say, we want you out. He said, I'm not going to get out. I want to run. I was leading him by a lot after the debate, but still he had the right to run, and they literally, it was a coup in the truest sense. This was the first coup of an American president, and I think it's, look, I don't say fair or not fair. He was very nice today. He called up to make sure I was okay, to make sure that, do I have any suggestions or anything? Mm-hmm. We do need more people on my detail because we have 50, 60,000 people showing up to events, and other people don't have that. But he couldn't have been nicer. But I thought he was treated really unfairly. He went through a primary system, he won, and then they threw him overboard. And she got no votes, she got no votes. But she'd be very bad for the country. We have to save our country. We can't play games, and we can't have a Marxist, communist president, because that's not what it's all about. So we're going to do it, and we're going to make our country greater than ever before, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to love your crypto. And as long as you have crypto, you're happy. So I know what makes you happy. Nothing else but crypto.
Yeah, I mean, when the Twitter Spaces was officially announced and that you put the tweet out, a lot of people were like, well, who's this Farouk guy? And obviously, a lot of people started digging into this Farouk guy, and the main reply that was that I'm just this crypto bro. But you know what, Mr. President, I am a proud crypto bro. And it seems like you're starting to become one of us, if not already. I know for a fact that your children are quite involved in the space. I mean, we have Barron, Don Jr., and Eric on the Twitter Spaces right now. Eric and Don Jr. here, who will be joining us a little later on this programming. But getting into crypto now, because I already see the people on Twitter Spaces really eager to hear you talk about this. At the recent Bitcoin conference, you mentioned that, and I quote, "America should be the crypto capital of the world."
Yeah.
That was a big statement, and I believe the correct one. So why is it not right now?
Well, I think it will be right now. Right now, you have a very hostile SEC. I guess you'd have to say, I don't know, when you say administration, do you call it Biden or do you call it Harris? Nobody really knows what to call it, but maybe we'll say a combination of both. But they've been very hostile toward crypto, toward all of it, and extremely hostile, like nobody can believe. Nobody even understands why. My attitude is different. If we don't do it, China's going to do it. China's doing it anyway.
They are.
But if we don't do it, we're not going to be the biggest, and we have to be the biggest and the best. And, when you look at values, and when you add it all up, the value of this whole thing is bigger than, they were showing me your top 20 corporations and all of this. The numbers are just gigantic. It suffers from some credibility lapses. I mean, some things were done or not done, but it's very young and very growing. And if we don't do it, China's going to do it. If we don't do it, other countries are going to do it. A lot of countries would like to be in a position. We have the advantage because it's us. But you have a big advantage because it's me, because I do believe in it. I also know a lot of friends that are really into it. And my kids, Barron knows so much about this.
Right.
Eric, and Barron's a young guy, but he knows it. He talks about his wallet. He's got 4 wallets or something, and I'm saying, what is a wallet? Explain this to me. But he knows this stuff inside out, and Eric and Don know it so well.
They do.
It's almost like younger people know it a lot better than older people. But I have a lot of respect for them. They've shown great judgment, all of them. And I think you're onto something. You're onto it a lot sooner than most people. It's sort of like it's a fledgling business, and yet it's a massive business, but it has a chance to really be something special. And when I do things, I notice a lot of crypto comes in. People pay with crypto.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't see that even a year ago, 2 years ago. So I think it's really, it's big, and yet it's a fledgling compared to what it will be.
And I love that you were mentioning your children and how Barron is using his wallet. Similar to me, I'm trying to teach my mother how to use it. I send her one ETH every Christmas, one ETH every birthday, and same for my little Zoomer brother, who probably is in Barron's age category. So, has learning about crypto from your children had an impact on you?
Well, it makes it easier, and it's sort of like a language. I have a beautiful granddaughter. Ivanka's daughter, and she is Arabella. She speaks perfect Chinese.
Wow.
And their other 2 children, 2 great young boys, they speak perfect Chinese. They learned it when they were 2 and 3 and 4 from a nanny who was Chinese.
That's impressive.
And she was from China. And she would teach Arabella. When President Xi was here, President Xi couldn't believe it. She walked up to him and had a perfect conversation. And I said, so how did she do? He said, as good as any 10-year-old girl in Beijing. I remember that statement. She speaks it perfectly, but she learned it at a very young age.
Wow.
If you're going to learn, if it's China or Japan or any language,
right,
it's not that easy to do. No. But as a child, it's almost like a natural. So it's a little bit like that, I think, with crypto. Now, I think crypto is a lot easier,
Right.
if you want to know that. But there is a learning curve. And yeah, my kids really understood it, and they understood it pretty much right at the beginning.
Yeah, we were chatting with Eric in the back, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is really awesome."
He knows, yeah.
Oh, we're about to hear all about your son's crypto endeavors and how much they know about it, which is really cool. I just came back from Asia. I was at the Korea Blockchain Week and at WebEx in Japan, and over there at the moment everybody's in Singapore tuning live to listen to us live on Spaces for Token 2049. What's impressive in the East is that crypto is not the future; it's the present. Whereas when I come here in Canada and North, it feels like I'm being taken aback. So the question I have for you, following up on what I was asking earlier, is why is it so important for America to lead in cryptocurrency adoption and innovation?
Well, it's crypto, it's AI, it's so
Right.
many other things. AI, speaking of an interesting future, it needs tremendous electricity capability beyond anything I've ever heard. It never made sense to me, but this is what it needs. If you take all of the electricity coming out of the U.S., in order to be dominant in AI, you need twice that amount, just for this one thing. Who would think that? You need twice the electricity we already have. And you got to get started. I mean, you have to be, if you're the U.S., you have to get started.
Right.
You don't want to be left in the dust. And China's already building electric plants, and they want to build them for the AI, and it's very important. But you need tremendous electric, and in this country, because of our strong environmental impact statement problems that we have, China doesn't have those problems. They don't do them. They just build. They said, build over here,
Right.
build over there. With us, you have to go through years. But I'll make it possible to create tremendous amounts of electricity very rapidly. But people don't know that. People don't know that you need double the electricity of what we already have. So you want to get in, whether it's crypto or AI or other things that are coming along, and it's part of the game. We want to have a great country. We want to stay at the top. We're making things now. We're starting, and it started under my administration, that there was no chance of ever even getting involved in for a long time.
Right.
And we're leading the pack in so many ways. One of the things I'm very proud of is Space Force. We were getting lapped in space by China and by Russia, and now we are the leader in space. And I have to tell you, Elon is doing a fantastic job. He's my friend. He endorsed me for president, so strongly. It was incredible. But he is doing an amazing job with respect to space. When you look up, I think somebody said he sends 90% of the rockets sent up throughout the world are his.
Wow.
And you got to hand it to him. He's something.
He definitely is. Wish he was here, but at least we're using his. We'll get him. We're definitely using his platform to do so, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. So, to create this future we're talking about, right? Like, there's a lot of American entrepreneurs, founders in crypto that need to sadly leave the country because it feels like at times we're being treated like we're not really welcome to build companies here. The CEO of our company over at Rug Radio was actually debanked earlier last year, but we'll get into that later. Do you think it's important for America to have a legal framework for crypto so that businesses can thrive and survive here?
I do, and they should have certain safeguards too. Maybe somebody would say that's a bad thing to say, but no, it can't be totally freewheeling. And I spoke to some of the big crypto people, they want safeguards, they want certain safeguards. But it's a very hostile environment right now. From what I understand, the SEC has been extremely hostile and really going after people. And I think, frankly, since they heard I was involved, they've treated people much better. Maybe they view it as votes. But people that were under serious investigation for having done nothing wrong are all of a sudden not allowed to go free. And I really believe that's because they see, this is a very big market. This is a very powerful market.
Very.
So I'm glad I helped, if I helped. I don't know, maybe I didn't. But the SEC has been unbelievably hostile. The one thing you know is that if for some reason bad things happen and we don't win the election, those people that were under investigation and that are free as a bird right now, and people that weren't being looked at in the crypto world, they will be living in hell because it'll start the day after the election if they win. And I view it differently. I mean, I just view it that we have to be the top no matter what we do.
Right.
Chips or anything else, we were really starting to go with the chips. We have to be number one. And I think AI is really important, but I think crypto's one of those things we have to do. Whether we like it or not, we
Right.
have to do it.
It's really, really cool to hear it from you in person. We've only heard it on TV, in newspaper, etc. But it feels good to know that a presidential candidate and someone who is already president of the United States of America feel this way about cryptocurrency. I'm sure myself and a lot of people in the industry are relieved to hear that, and I will see what the results are in November. But on something a little lighter now, I remember the day your NFT collections came out. That was super cool. So I host a morning show called FOMO Hour with my friend OSF and Mando and now Tyler. And so we were live on air when the link dropped. And so it was the very, very first collection. There was a chance to have dinner with you. And I remember just like scrambling to buy them. We're staying live. We stopped the show live on air to thousands of people like, no, we got to buy these. We're going to buy these. I got to spend $25K on this. Let's go. Right. Let's do it. Which is another cool thing about people in crypto, right? Or there's crypto bros that they call. And so we're trying to buy these things. And it was just so electric and crazy that we actually failed. But hey, I guess that's a good thing because the collection, ended up selling out, and then you ended up doing, I believe, you ended up doing that 3 times over. Can you tell us more about the success that you have had with NFTs? But also, like, did that surprise you?
Well, I got in very late, and NFT was considered cold. I mean, to be honest, it was a cold industry. It had its day a few years before, as you probably know. But when I did it, I said, what do we have to do with anything else? And it's playing cards and
Right.
some beautiful artwork and other things. And we went out with 45,000 NFTs, and it was amazing. We thought it would take 6 months, maybe a year to sell. It sold out. I don't want to get myself in trouble by saying exactly the first day, but pretty close to it. It was like almost immediately.
It was quick.
Yeah, like
we failed
almost-
every transaction.
Right, almost immediately. And then we did a second one likewise, and then we did a third one, and then we just did a fourth one. And I asked the people from the first 3, I said, well, do you want to have us do, because, they have certain, they have very big pride to start off with. But I said, are you going to, if we do a fourth one, does that affect you and the ones you already own? Because some people bought a lot of them, and some people bought one. And they're all very happy, really happy. I said, does it affect you? And everybody, it was like sort of a phone poll, just like, and everybody wanted the fourth one, which surprised me because you would think they wouldn't want the fourth one because maybe it waters down their own
Right.
pieces that they have. And they did. They wanted it, and they wanted it badly. So we did a fourth and just did it recently, and I think it's just about gone. It's amazing. And one of the things I know, the crypto played a big role because
Right.
they paid.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we're not getting checks with dollars. We're getting crypto.
It's instant.
Instantly, yeah. It's been, and that taught me a little bit about what you love. It taught me something that was incredible. We did the NFTs. It was so cool. People said, "Don't do it, don't do it. You're not going to."
I'm sure.
And we did it, and it sold. Literally, we had anywhere from 6 months to a year, and I think we did it in a day or
Yeah,
something.
so it
like
was
that. Right?
It was quick.
Yeah.
It was quick, and
Very
you know
good.
what? It was fun.
It was
That's
fun.
what it was.
It is fun.
It was a lot of fun. So I'm aware that you probably have a million things to get to. So I kind of want to finish off with a couple more questions for you, Mr. President. So first and foremost, were the NFTs a big part of the story, of your story, of how you came to see the value in digital assets?
A little bit because so many people paid
Right.
this way. If they didn't, if they would have been paying in dollars, I would have said, that's standard. I would have assumed. And I was blown away. I wasn't overly interested in it, to be honest, but I did ask, like, what percentage was taken between Bitcoin and all of the
Right.
other things, but through crypto, and it was a massive majority, and I was a little surprised by that. And that was a while ago now, and it opened my eyes. But I think my children opened my eyes more than anything else.
Wow.
And plus, I have a friend on my right who's a very smart guy, and he's not quite as young as his fantastic son, who we were dealing with, Alex, and all of them. but he knows a lot about this stuff for a man of his age. He's still pretty young, but for a man of his age, Steve Witkoff knows a lot about this.
He definitely does. And he's here on your right. We're about to get to Steve Witkoff. And for everybody in the audience right now, if you're listening to us live, hang tight. I have one more question for Mr. President, and then we're going to be joined by Don Jr., Eric Trump, and the World Liberty Financial teams, and Corey and everybody, the advisors around it. So we have quite the programming for you. But Mr. President, one last question that you may or may not have answered with your last answer here is, so if there was one thing that got you to see crypto differently, what was it?
If it was what?
One thing that got you to see crypto differently. What was it?
Well, maybe the NFTs. You sort of brought that up because I was surprised again at the percentage of them that were sold through that form. You could do a new form of currency. You could call it anything you want, but that was. I think it was also the level of enthusiasm that my young sons have for this. Pretty young guys. I mean, one's extremely young and two are pretty young, right? But the level of enthusiasm they have for crypto.
Yeah.
And also just to add a third element, I have a lot of friends, very smart people, some very smart people, and they're believers. So it means something to me.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you. Everybody hang tight, please. I will go to Mr. Witkoff in a second, and we'll be joining by the next set of guests. But Mr. President, it's an honor. Thank you for having me. And honestly, the fact that you've done this the day after a second assassination attempt means the world to me. Just a little 30-year-old boy from Montreal that, started from just hosting Twitter Spaces, now hosting yourself. So thank you for allowing me to do so.
Great job. Thank you very much.
Okay, there you go.
Wow.
All right, that's good. We'll pull out of that. The President Trump.
We're pulling out of that. Huh? We're driving a bus over here.
Oh, man. All right.
That
Holy
kid
cow.
was very excited.
The audience.
I'm getting off at the next stop, Damon.
So it said this kid's so excited he's going to pull out his Pokemon card. 37.
Oh, man.
Almost lost it. Oh, God. All right. Well, there you go. President Trump.
Yeah.
We did get some important stuff in the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about, obviously, what happened Sunday at the golf course.
And then he turned into Chris Farley.
That was cool.
Oh, God. Innes says pulling out has never been so satisfying.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm just reading what he wrote. So.
Check, please.
He's talking, and he's not, well,
Check,
you know
please.
what he's talking about.
All right, so there you go. President Trump with Farouk, or somebody,
Yes.
which is quickly turning into a crypto promotion, which, I mean, listen, I'm all in on crypto, so I love that. But, I mean, I don't know what this one they're talking about is. I think the Trump boys are involved somehow or whatever. But anyways, important information from the president on the beginning part on what happened on Sunday. And I know the president wants to be thankful and gregarious and supportive of the men and women with him on the ground, Secret Service, and I think rightly so. But let's not make any bones about it here. This is another complete and utter failure of the Secret Service, the entity, the top management, the actual entity, not the people with Trump. And I think he has a right and should be thankful to them.
The
because
institution.
certainly they're not signed. They don't go out there going, "Oh, geez, maybe we'll get shot today." But that's the position they're being put in. So we'll talk all about this when we get back. Vinnie Mac's here, Slick Rick's here, Rick Delgado's here, Aaron and Fran holding it down. We're back live from Studio 6B after a quick break. We're back right after this.
So your must-see TV is going to be Vance and Walt.
Oh, yeah, October
Must
1st
see
on
TV.
CBS.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll be covering it the
We
same way
are
we did.
back over here. That was quite a great interview with President Trump, wasn't it, everyone? There you go. We've
still
got
got
this
it
room
blasting.
packed with people.
All right,
Everybody's still here.
let's
Hang
kill
tight.
Pokemon
Don't
Boy.
leave. Keep
Yeah.
sharing. I want to see those retweets because
There we go.
Yeah, we
All right, we're live in the chat. If
That
you're
was
in the
very
chat, make
exciting.
sure you hit
Very
your
exciting.
He's our Wednesday guest. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
like and subscribe to the channel.
Sounds like he's getting
Delgado, you can interview him.
it's like he's getting a fresh glass of milk and cookies to go along with his excitement. Jesus.
Gonna break out his Pokemon cards.
Mr. Trump, you remember when you built the tower, the Trump Tower on 57th Street?
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. I give him credit, though, for talking crypto.
Yeah.
I bet Biden, Harris, anyone else, they don't have any clue about crypto. And let's face it, crypto is a currency and a global currency, and it's not going away. As a matter of fact, it's moving faster than most folks really understand.
Yep.
So I give him credit for at least having some involvement or competency around it, so he can deal with it.
And he's getting to audiences that could be a swing. The crypto community is going to be a big. I've said this now for months, but people know. I tweeted about this early on that he needed to make a move like this into crypto, and he did shortly after that. This is a single issue voting block that's going to be a big one. They are spending a lot of money in Washington, D.C. to lobby for this.
Yep.
They are dealing with congressmen on both sides and congresswomen on both sides of the aisle. This is a big voting block that could have an effect. So, and he is going after it in a big way, as he should.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And I'm happy also that he's transacted in it. It's one thing to talk about it and have like, yeah, I understand cryptos or so that, but he's actually been in it as a business, albeit NFTs. But still, that's one of the primary things that was out there,
Yep.
crypto for many years.
Yep. All right, if you're on the chats or if you're watching on the socials, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up. Slick, can we do sports here quick? We'll recap the odds makers and we'll do some news and try to get this going.
Yeah, I'm just getting the final information from Aaron.
All right, so
waiting
maybe
on that.
Delgado will do. Let's talk about what happened Sunday.
Yes,
Let's do that.
we can do that.
We're not going back into this, are we?
Hell no.
Unless you want to, Fred.
I got
paying
to
attention
paint my
first.
house first, but we can go back into
All
it.
right, well, I'm going to leave it, so that'll kick us out.
Yeah, no, we're out. All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, getting a brand new week started. Slickster's here now. Slick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
You looking good in that red? What month was that?
This was February, Valentine's
February,
Day.
Valentine's
that's right.
Day.
Wow.
That's right, for the Slick Rick calendar 2024.
Yeah.
Start thinking about the 2025 here pretty soon. How was your weekend?
Fantastic. I spent most of it at America's First Warehouse over the weekend, Big D. I went down there, hung out with the great Harry Oates, and Rav Mod 1 and Rav Mod 2. Got to meet them, the mother-daughter team. They're at Dynamo. They're in the control room. Pretty cool stuff. Carefree Largo, Billy. I met
that's
him.
right.
He's
Met
a
him too.
big chatter. I love Billy. Great guy. And Kyle Perrin. We met Kyle, another great guy. Tracy, Michael from New Jersey, and from Yonkers was there. And in the chat. He's been there forever. Young guy. Yankees hat. Good kid from Yonkers. And I met a young lady, 16 years old, came up to me, a girl named Alden.
Wow.
And she's like, Slick Rick, I watch 6B every night. I love you.
16 years old.
16, Big D. I mean, now there's a kid whose parents raised her right, or she made good decisions at a young age. Could be either or, probably a combination of both. But I got to tell you, see, she's got her priority. See, who needs Taylor Swift? We got 6B, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good
All right.
stuff. I enjoyed that. It was a really nice time. Great speakers.
Now, let me ask
Lee
you.
Zeldin was there.
Let me ask you this, since you're clearly avoiding it by talking about all the people you met. Where did you spend Sunday afternoon?
We celebrated my birthday at my mother's house. No,
Are you still celebrating your birthday?
Yes.
That's like 2 weeks in a row.
Where were you Sunday afternoon, like between, I don't know, like 1 and...
I was in a watering hole in the town that I'm president of the chamber of, Holbrook there, and I had a couple of cocktails, and I had an obnoxious Saint fan right next to me with his girlfriend. This guy was riding me, and I kept my composure. I was very presidential, so to speak. I didn't get crazy, but we got smoked. Cowboys got smoked 44-19.
14-3 in the first quarter.
I know.
21 points in the second quarter.
35-16 at the half. Yeah, I know. Tighter record. So
Okay.
yeah, bad weekend for the Dallas Cowboys. But you know what? I had such a great time Friday and Saturday. It's like the yin and the yang. Well,
It didn't even matter on Sunday that your team sucked.
It didn't. I was on.
I got
I was on a high. I was on a rapid
had
high.
to give.
Yep.
All right, very good. So let's talk about what happened Sunday. Like I said, I had almost no. I'm going to be honest. I had no self. I didn't know this even happened
Really?
until I got back to New York, got settled, got caught up with everybody, and then went in the office and started to get around and see what was going on, think about the show tonight, and I had no idea this had happened. And like I said, I there's so many things here about this guy. And the Lee Harvey Oswald vibes that I get from this whole thing is undeniable to start. Mm-hmm. And it is almost impossible to make the case that this guy is some loner, like kind of like we got clean hands here, that this guy is just some wackadoo. Some wackadoo that what? Knew that the president was playing golf that day? That camped out to wait for the motorcade to show up at the course? What exactly is the story here? A guy who doesn't live in the area, guy who spent some time, I guess, in Hawaii, and now in North Carolina, just happens that an OTR for the former president of the United States, off-the-record movement to play golf on a Sunday, and Aaron, throw up my screen, knows enough about the course and knows enough about the day. And when you look here, this is the road. I did this morning if you joined me on the stream this morning. And you see these trees that line the road by the course, whatever these kind of trees are that grow in Florida. And then if you look over here, as you go down the road, that all of a sudden, this guy just happened to know that there's this spot, and the Secret Service didn't feel like this was a spot that needed to be addressed with this opening. And this guy's got enough time to get in here, find a spot like this, set up. There's no drones, there's no heat map, there's no nothing to find this guy. We get a Secret Service on the ground who happens to see the muzzle of this gun.
Yeah, poking out through the leaves.
Poking out through the leaves, through a chain link fence or whatever, something that looks like this.
That's amazing in itself to even spot something like that. It is, frankly.
But how does a spot for a course that the President of the United States owns and golfs on quite frequently when he's in West Palm Beach, how does this get left like this? How does this not get manned like this? How does this end up looking like this? Now, this is not exactly where he was, but this is similar to where, if not the exact location, this guy set up. I mean, it just seems crazy. And I know the president wants to be gregarious to the officers, the Secret Service agents around him, as he should. They're certainly probably not too happy about the setup and what's going on. But, I mean, I don't see how this is any success for the Secret Service it's a success that somebody was able to get shots off for the second time in 2 months at the former president of the United States. One time he's hit, almost killed by an inch. And this time the guy gets shots off, and okay, no one gets hits. That's the level of success now for the Secret Service? You have one job? I mean, this is, again, it's absolutely crazy. How did he know he was playing golf? How did he know where to go? How did he know he was going to be there? I mean, there are a lot of questions here.
Mm-hmm. Too many questions.
Too many questions to just say,
yeah,
this guy's been a big supporter of what's going on over in the Ukraine. He's been...
he was over in Ukraine?
He was over in Ukraine.
He was trying to sign up to fight for them. They rejected him.
Wow.
But there's no information on the first shooter. Was nothing. Now this guy, they know a lot of stuff about. To me, this is all willful ignorance. I think that the rhetoric and all this steam is like, you know what? Something happens to this guy. He's not as protected as the president. It's willful ignorance. But you have to kind of look at the bright side. When people are judged, when character is judged about great people, leaders, it's how you handle adversity. This guy, his life was almost taken twice. And what does he do? He's back on the air giving interviews. He's back. He finished his round of golf. Okay? This is really what this man is all about. He got up off the dust. He went right back into what he has to do. He went right back to campaigning. He did this interview that we just listened to on X. He's out there doing stuff. To me, it's like, wow, holy cow. Talk about rising above the fray. Anyone else, if this was Carmella, 2 attempts made on her life, any tweet that went out that said anything outside of supportive of her would be just banished, and we would have been like cut off TV and news media, and they'd be scapegoated for the rest of their lives. Trump, they're talking about is, well, he must have instigated this because of what he said in Springfield, and he must have done that. The instigation here is clear. Rick, I don't know if you were on Facebook. I was on Facebook battling with people on this, and I realized, you know what? One exchange I got into was, I asked this guy, why do you hate him so much? Just give me the examples of why you hate him so much. Why do you think this is like not a bad thing? And he couldn't answer me other than reciting a bunch of stuff that the media has been talking about that turn out to be lies.
Right.
And you think about that and you say, geez, all of these people now hate him so much because of this stuff that they have said about him since 2015, by the way, and double and triple down. And here you have friends, family, people we know doing that and exasperating that on social media.
Well, this is Operation Mockingbird. This is the result of long-term propaganda, where people just they just cling on to this because this is what they're told. This is what they're told to believe, and any divorcing that from their belief becomes the attack, and they need to fight to hold on to that belief because they don't want to believe the truth. They've been lied to, and they don't want to accept the fact that they believed it.
But no one could give me an explanation as to why you hate him so much.
Hold that thought. We'll talk more about this top of the hour coming up. Hour 2. We'll do sports as well, live from Studio 6B when we get back right after this.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah. I saw the clip. I'm like, you gotta be.
You know what it takes, though, to hate
Both
someone?
in Black Rock commercials.
You know how much you have to experience with someone to actually hate them? Just how much? It's not like you hate the Cowboys.
I know, but is it hate, or is it when you dehumanize someone to the point that their life has no value because you look at them and they're not flesh and blood anymore. They're the threat to democracy.
Right.
They're the
Hitler.
wannabe dictator. They're
Well, that's
Hitler.
the whole Hitler thing
That
is a
guy's
problem.
not
They're the
worthy of
symbol.
breathing
That's a
the
big
air that you
problem.
breathe. That's the point we get to with this.
That's right. And I think that dehumanizing part is such a big part of it. But I still come down to it. I mean, is there someone in your lives that you really disliked? But going to the point of hate, did you ever cross to that level? And if you ever did,
I mean, only with
it had-
Delgado for me.
well,
I knew that was coming.
I don't want to fan the flames there, Rick. Sorry, buddy. But
In the chat.
but to
now.
get to that
I
point,
see. I told you. I knew David didn't like him. I knew David didn't like Delgado.
That's it. He's going to get him fired. I know it.
you heard it here first.
David
folks.
fires
He's going to
everybody.
end up in the back of the trunk with Paul.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey,
I'm not going to say who's driving.
wait.
Oh, man.
What happened to Paul?
Yeah, what happened to Paul? Remember the Beatles album?
Oh yeah, you play it
Paul
backwards.
is
Paul
dead.
is dead.
Oh, he's not. He's doing well.
Start playing stuff backwards, and you learn a lot.
Yeah. Oh, man.
No. What is it?
They got nothing. No? You don't even have a cup for coffee. Oh. Come on, what do you think this is here?
Hold on.
Where's Harry Oates? I saw him here earlier.
He's driving around.
Oh, is he?
Just likes to drive around.
Got the spiked seltzer in there, Delgado. Have that. You look like you could use a drink.
I like that the frames match the jacket. Do you have different frames?
I do, yeah. I have a couple of different pairs. I have like 3 or 4 different pairs. Yeah.
I love that.
A couple more colors I want to get, but they're expensive. These are from France. They're like very expensive. It's a weird acrylic. It's like an Italian acrylic, and they're not cheap glasses you get at Costco. They're
They're cool.
Yeah, I like their color. Funkadelic, right?
Yeah. No, I
Matches
think
my
they're really
boots.
cool.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Hour 2, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado's got some news. Vinnie Mac is here as well. He's got some thoughts on some different subject matter. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Rav Mod 1, Rav Mod 2 in the building.
Yes.
Moderating all you crazies out there in the LFS 6B chat. Whatever you're watching on, make sure you hit the like, subscribe to the channel. Come on. So we were talking about, obviously, the second assassination attempt on the president on Sunday. Delgado, we didn't have a ton of time when we got to you there in the last segment, so I guess give me your... I get real Lee Harvey Oswald kind of vibes that this guy's not just some lunatic lefty who showed up and just happened to be in West Palm Beach and thought, hey, look at this, a motor guy, man, he's going to play golf. Well, let me go hang out here like Bart Simpson in the greenage and see if I can.
The grassy knoll.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not buying that. What were your thoughts?
Look, what are the chances? I just had my AK-47 with me.
Yeah.
Woo. There's way too many unanswered questions. This guy has a kind of an interesting past when you consider he's not really one of these guys that has a steady home life.
No.
You know what I mean? Some painter. Is he a painter? I think I read he's a painter from North Carolina. Well, where does he come up with the money to go over to Ukraine and to recruit fighters for Ukraine and then try and go over there? Then he's being interviewed by news people all over the place. It's amazing how this basically nobody ends up outside the Trump golf course in the perfect spot where if you're going to try and create some shenanigans, it just so happens to be he ends up there with not only an AK-47, but from what I understand, the level of bullet that he had at his disposal would have easily pierced, I guess, the body armor of the Secret Service. So the Secret Service guy was putting his life. Of course, they put their life in danger every time. But getting into it with this guy, thankfully he didn't get hit because he would have probably, definitely would have been injured. We're not sure of the severity because it didn't happen. But man, oh man. I don't know. I'm just not. You know what? First time, fool me once. Second time, won't get fooled again, as President Bush said.
I mean, the other thing is,
right?
Yeah. I mean, and let's be honest about this. If this were if this were the Trump administration, and this was the Democratic candidate, let's just reverse the roles. This is a Democrat candidate who's now trying to return to office, who is already president, who's the leading contender, who's the nominee. And this happened under President Trump and a vice president who, even if it was still Mike Pence, with an attorney general of whoever. President Trump at some point would say, I want a meeting with the vice president, the attorney general, the director of Homeland Security, the director of the FBI. I want everybody in a room, and this has to stop. I don't care what across the aisle, this has to stop. I want to know why this is happening. I want to know what the Secret Service needs to stop this happening. And if I don't have the answers in 4 hours, you're all fired. And he would have somebody, if not himself, knowing Trump, he'd do it himself, walk out in front of a microphone and say, they wouldn't send a tweet going, oh, we're happy to hear that he's okay.
Right.
He would say, no, this needs to stop. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Politics is not a part of this. And if not, I'm going to find myself some new people who can get me some answers. Because this is unacceptable. This administration, we've heard almost nothing from anybody. We have no idea, nothing from Merrick Garland. Kamala Harris tweeted that we're glad he's okay. Whoop-de-doo. So did I. That doesn't mean anything. Biden basically walked out in front of the cameras and said, I think the Secret Service needs some help, drooling on himself. What does that mean? They need more personnel. Okay, they don't have the resources. Well, what do you mean they don't have the resources? This administration is $6.5 trillion in debt.
Yeah, the Secret
We're
Service.
$36 trillion in debt.
The Secret Service gets $3 billion.
We're sending billions of dollars for Haitian migrants flying all over the country. We're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. We're sending billions of dollars here, and we don't have some money to make sure we can staff up the Secret Service to protect the former president and possibly next president of the United States. We're going to walk in front of a microphone and really say it's a resources problem. Really? It's a money problem? For the one time in the world we can't find the dollars, is what you're saying in this country. We can find them for the new Green Deal. We can find them for every boondoggle that we want. It's some airport or some bridge we got to rebuild or some nonsense that we'll never use somewhere. But for this, we got resource problems. Really?
Now, this is the problem with the entire administration right now. Leadership. There is no leadership. I mean, when I say leadership, I mean real leadership. What you just said about Trump would have gotten out there and said, this is how you lead. What the hell's going on? I want to know what's going on in 4 hours, as you laid out. And then he would address the public and say, we're fixing this. These people are fired. There's no leadership in this administration. None. Every problem we have had since they took office, there's been zero leadership. The border, no leadership.
And no accountability.
Remember, that's leadership, though.
Nobody has been fired from this administration. Gina Haspel, she was allowed to walk away, retire, take her benefits package with her, and just allowed to walk. Nobody gets, has their feet to the fire. And
the director of the FBI, the director of the Secret Service, she got to retire.
That's what I'm talking about.
She got to retire with full pay and benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't Gina Haspel was.
Oh, what was Kim Cheadle? Right.
Yeah.
Gina Haspel.
The guy who's there now.
Right. Ron Rowe.
How is this not a failure? I mean, I know people are going, this is a big success for and I understand that. Again, I want to make sure I'm clear. Separating the guys on the ground with Trump. There's no way. They don't sign up for this and go out there every day going, well, geez, I wonder if we're going to get... there's no way they can be happy with the situation either, by the way.
Well, because they're in the direct line of fire. They don't want to walk out there thinking, hey, is today the day I get shot trying to protect the president?
Exactly.
That's not what they want to do. The Secret Service is supposed to protect from this kind of thing happening. I know we all see the pictures of them rushing to the president's aid, but their job is supposed to be done before that, so it never gets to that point. And for them to sit there and cheer this on like this is a success, no, it's another failure because it got to that point.
Got shots off.
Where it wasn't supposed to get to that point. Their job is security, not cleaning up the mess afterwards.
I heard Dan Bongino today, who worked for President Clinton,
yes,
President Bush, President Obama. Yes. Obama loved to golf.
Yeah.
He said, do you know how he said, I probably scouted 15 to 20 golf courses. And there was holes that were close enough to public roads that we said, okay, hole 6 is on the road. When he gets to hole 3, we're going to block all traffic. We're going to make sure all of the lines are walked. And that's how you do it. How does he get to this hole that's 10 feet off, or I guess at this time he wasn't on the exact hole that was on the road. How are things operating as natural on that road while he's 400 yards away?
Yeah. That's amazing. As a matter of fact, Bongino, he did talk about this, of course, extensively today, but he also brought up this clip of him testifying in front of Congress about the first attempt, and this is cut number 16, and he predicted this was going to happen again. Check this out, cut 16.
Mr. Bongino, in your opinion, is the Secret Service in a better spot today with Director Rowe in charge?
No, it's worse. And sadly, I'm glad this is all being recorded, because when something else happens, and I hope it doesn't, I pray to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that I'm wrong. That you play this and go, look, that guy was crazy. You think this is the last incident, you're out of your mind. We have seen these incidents over and over. We saw the Georgia grenade incident with President Bush. They overtook the magnetometers. The Secret Service leadership in charge now with the exact same people. Exact same. Can you imagine a C-suite at a company that makes widgets? We find out that there's a design defect. The widget explodes and kills 10 people. And the CTO gets a promotion to CEO. You understand that's what happened here, correct? These are the same people. Kim Cheadle, the director, wasn't even fired. She was allowed to resign. She'll go get some cushy job somewhere. And her deputy, who is one of the guys behind these stupid waste of time things like agents wearing red ties on the detail. Because this actually happened, by the way. These people will tell you this on the road. If you get the right people. He was concerned about the tie color of the agents on the detail because it seemed to imply he supported President Trump. Congressman Biggs wearing a red tie. You're wearing a semi-red tie. It has nothing to do with anything. This is the kind of stuff the Secret Service was actually wasting their time with while withholding CSU counter surveillance assets and counter sniper assets from probably the most threatened man on earth. If you can explain it, good luck, because that's not the agency I worked for.
Yeah.
There you have it. He said it was going to happen again, and there you have it. It happened again. This is not. It goes beyond. Oh, it was just a one-off. Whatever. No, this is a concerted effort. And from what I understand, and I've seen leaks, and I'm not going to confirm anything, but the Secret Service works under they're underneath now Homeland Security, and I've seen leaks saying Homeland Security is leaking. There could be a problem. Could be somebody who's leaking.
Well, Bongino talked about it today on his radio show.
Yeah.
Could there be a mole inside?
Right.
Do you know that well, I don't want to say who it is, but do you know I had somebody actually before this morning when I woke up and I did my morning stream, then I actually got a chance to catch some of Bongino's show. Somebody actually texted me saying that I think that they were testing this if there was somebody on the inside that was leaking. And I looked at it and I thought, ooh, geez. And then Bongino talked about it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, like you said, who knows if we'll ever be able to confirm that. But again, it's the whole, what I said, this guy gives you Lee Harvey Oswald vibes. He's like, it just doesn't seem like he's some guy who just decided to show up out of,
random.
Let me go, go down to Trump International, West Palm, and hang out on South Congress Road or whatever the hell it's called.
Especially when you consider, and you mentioned it earlier, the OTR, the off the record movements.
Right. No one know you. Supposedly, the decision to go golfing wasn't made till Sunday morning.
Yep.
How does this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he just picked a random day and thought maybe.
Yeah.
There's too
and he's not
many
from the area.
omissions here.
He's not a local.
No, the guy on the roof. They don't check the roof because it's hot. This guy knows about the golf. There's a study that was just done by University of Chicago, a political scientist. He said he found that 10% of American adults believe the use of force to prevent Trump from getting reelected is justified. Think about that and then peel back all the things that are said.
Right.
Now, all of these blatant omissions, intentional ignorance is, what we're seeing here. These aren't just mistakes. They can't be. We can't be this incompetent. No. It's nearly impossible. We do lack the leadership. We do lack the competence. I get that at the highest levels, like the FBI, which we found out, not the guys on the, in the field. But if you hear all of this and use of force is justified, they're going to be crazies like this all over the place.
I mean, like Bongino said in that tape, I mean, could anyone say that this is the end of this? If anything, it's going to intensify.
And then what happens?
You see the meme of the guy leaning over to Kamala? Like they leaned over to Bush when they told him about 9/11 and said, the second shooter missed. There's a meme out there for that. If you're live in the socials with us, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. We appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Child of the King, $50 super chat. Thank you very much. Great way to support the show through the super chats. Guys, the shooter is a felon. Who gave him the gun? ? And you are asking for leadership, but they, the demons, have never had a real job. They have no idea what they are doing.
What do you guys think
questions there?
If anything should happen?
Did you see the charge? I mean, there's an article today. I remember if we have time, we'll cover it. But this Monica Showalter asked today at the American Thinker, a second assassination attempt on President Trump, and all they can come up with is 2 minor gun charges?
Oh, yeah. It's going to get worse. And DeSantis is intervening now. I mean,
good for him, by the way. He might be the only hope to get to the bottom of this.
This, again, it all comes down to this common denominator leadership. Why is DeSantis intervening? Because he's a leader. He's like, this is not going to happen on my watch.
And he knows that there's a lot of people in Florida that hate Trump.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
And they have guns. It's it's a state where you can freely carry guns. But, I get really scared thinking about what if, there's going to be another attempt. I think we all have to be honest about that and know and realize this is not going to be.
It's not an outlandish statement to say there's going to be another one. It's unfortunately not.
So where do we go, though? Should this ever be successful? Where do we go?
Oh, my God, please.
We got to get out of here. Corsica, an
I have Reed's here, and then an interview?
Yep.
Terrible.
Spokesperson.
I think it's a locksmith. Yeah. We got the locksmith there. You heard that? Been a while since you blasted one across the room with the full mouth of coffee, right? We haven't done that in a while. I got to get that going again. Oh, Harry's here.
I hear Harry's back. That's what made me laugh.
Harry's got it locked down.
That's the only thing he's got locked down.
How's the locksmith going?
Harry holds the keys to the place.
Harry holds the key to my heart. Sound like the blues. 17 past the hour on a Monday night. Let me talk to you about our friends from the Wellness Company. Everybody knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner. Whether it comes in the form of a pandemic or something much more mundane like a tick bite, you and your family want to be prepared. You need to be prepared. Well, that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You know the Wellness Company. We've had Dr. Peter McCullough on the show. He's fantastic. The Wellness Company and their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust. And their line of prescription medical kits are now the gold standard when it comes to keeping yourself safe and healthy. Whether it's the medical emergency kit, the contagion kit, the first aid kit, or the travel kit, these prescription kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of all the medications that come in any one of these kits that you order, so you know how to use it, know how to understand it, dosage, all of that covered. From anthrax to tick bites, COVID to the bird flu, from a trip to the beach or a trip overseas, the Wellness Company has a prescription kit designed to keep you and your family safe. Go right now, www.twc.health/voice. That's TWC for the Wellness Company, twc.health/voice today and order. That's twc.health/voice, and then you can use promo code VOICE at checkout to save an additional 10%. Well, did you know there's nearly $1 trillion of infrastructure and pandemic funds yet to be spent? Attention, Secret Service. Attention, resources. There's $1 trillion of infrastructure and pandemic funds yet to be spent. I know where we could spend it. That's right. There's a massive amount of money that the lame duck administration is pushing hard to spend in their last few months. If Biden can push out these funds, you could see another prolonged inflation surge. Just like COVID, and I'm sure you remember the terrible effects that inflation had on Americans back then, and it's still having. But there is hope. A surge in prices can be beaten, and that's with a gold IRA from Birch Gold. That's the ultimate inflation hedge for your savings. To see how to protect your IRA or 401k, get a free information kit on gold by texting the word America and send it to 989898. Plus, Birch Gold's special offer has been extended through the election. When you make a purchase, you're going to get a free Trump silver coin. It's a unique collectible that depicts President Trump defiantly raising his fist after the attempt on his life. I guess the first one. You know, left-wing assassins have more access to Trump than right-wing media personalities have to Vice President Kamala Harris, by the way. Don't miss your chance to own this one-of-a-kind piece of history preserved in a silver coin. Protect your savings from Biden's spending spree. Get your free Trump silver coin. Text America to 989898 today. That's America to the number 989898 and do it today. I mean, just wild. All right, let's do some sports, then we'll do some news. We'll see what Vinnie Mac has on his mind. Slick, I'll start with you. Sports is brought to you by MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use at checkout. What's going on?
We got to recap the odds makers, Big D. I know you weren't here Friday. You missed the episode. Great.
Boy,
actually, it was Thursday.
Another great guest, man. The bar is just
unbelievable.
Set so high.
You're talking about locksmiths. Let me tell you, this Chip, he had it locked down. Chip from New Mexico. He went 3-1, Big D.
Woo.
Yeah, he was sharp as cool as a
leader
cucumber.
in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah, he's the leader in the clubhouse. Good job, Chip. He had the Bengals. Well, the Chiefs did edge the Bengals, but he took the Bengals with the points. Good move. They won 26-25 with the Chiefs, but they got
covered.
The point there. Yep. Commanders
Thanks
over the
refs.
Giants. 21-18.
Giants,
what do you know about
pack
that?
it in. Suck, get out.
Terrible.
You stink.
Yep. They pulled up lame.
Delgado, why don't you go kick for him?
I probably could.
Yeah.
You probably could. You
could ride your bike.
Chargers over the Panthers 26-3. That was a good pick. His only loss was the Niners. Bit of an upset. Minnesota beat them 23-17 in US Bank Stadium in Minnesota.
I mean, Sam Darnold looks like he's going to the Super Bowl as soon as he leaves the Jets. I mean,
it's amazing, right?
It's unbelievable.
No more
Isn't it
ghosts.
funny how that
He's getting
always
ready for Halloween.
happens?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, the Jets won. That was good, Aaron.
Yeah.
So he went 3-1. Aaron went 2-2 on the weekend, 2-3 overall. She had the win over with Alabama, 42-10. They pounded Wisconsin. She picked up the win with the Chargers like Chip, but the Rams 41-10 got smashed by Arizona, and the Jags fell to the Browns. A bit of a brown out there, 18-13. So she ended up going 2-3 over the weekend because she also had the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night, who lost to the Buffalo Bills.
And Tua looks like he's done. His career is over.
Yeah, what a shame.
Looks
right?
like he's going to retire.
Concussion, really? Looking like
that's
retirement?
what the report today was, that the NFL and the Dolphins are going to urge him to retire.
And they just gave him a massive contract, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you think
Frank the Tank is in total disarray.
But the Mets might make the playoffs, so Frank may have some saving grace there yet. The Mets are right there. They're flirting close, Big D.
He said today their season was over and lost it in about a 2-minute rant that he was drooling on himself. He was yelling so much.
Man.
So
you and him should do a show together. Michigan 28. I'm gonna get to my picks now. I had the loss. Michigan 28-18. They did not cover. They won. I had all winners, but I couldn't cover. The Bucks over the Lions. Bit of an upset there. 20-16. A lot of people like the Lions going in, but Bucks did that win there. And the Chiefs edged Cincinnati. So I was on the wrong side of that Chip bet. I had the Chiefs. And the Texans. They won by. We had a spread of 6 points. They won 19-13. So I lost because it was a push, but I get the loss there. Aaron and I are both on the Philadelphia Eagles, laying 5.5 tonight. We both agreed before there was any scores or anything. And right now, give you an update. It's 7-3, 2 minutes to go. Eagles leading that one. And right now, the Falcons are driving with the 2-minute warning. They're at the Philly 38. Devontae Smith with a short pass from Jalen Hurts put them up 7-3. So looking not too bad. One way to go to it. But so I finished 2-3 as well. So Aaron and I 2-3, and Chip 3-1. Big deal.
All right, very good, Slicks. We'll do some more sports here in a little bit. Good for Chip. Odds Makers is fun so far with the audience getting involved. I like it. So
me too.
Vinnie Mac, what's been on your mind?
Oh boy, I mean, I just feel like my head's been on fire the last couple of days, and then the Trump assassination attempt just put it up on steroids. I mean, a couple of things are really bugging me. One, this Kamala Harris finally did an interview.
Yeah,
and if based on what we saw in the debate where she said nothing, now she goes on ABC and gets interviewed, and it was a entire interview of saying nothing. She didn't answer one question, and it reminded me of a scene that I think if any of us watched her speak, this is probably what you were thinking of. We have a clip, maybe we can run that quick.
You have your eyes open for you, my friend. I have my eyes open. Yeah? Well, stick around. Don't go on any long trips. I don't know what you mean. I know you don't. That's the point. I'll say no more. You haven't said anything. And that's what I'm saying.
I happened to be watching Moonstruck, and I watched that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes, but I was like, that's how I feel. I think that's how everybody feels. But here's really what was burning me up after this assassination attempt. First off, if you look at MSNBC or any of the major networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, they basically were blaming this on Trump's comments about Springfield with the Haitians. This is what they talked about. Well, it's Trump's rhetoric. It's Trump's rhetoric. Well, it's not Trump's rhetoric. I got a couple of statements here that aren't even close to the amount of things that are said, but it's just a few things that would inflame a lot of people. She went out and gave 2 speeches after the debate, both times, by the way, telling people that Trump was going to cut Social Security. He was going to do all these bad things. He was going to have a full ban on abortion when he gets into office. All of these lies. Then she gets out and starts again talking about Trump accused of calling Nazis fine people. She talked about the bloodbath thing being responsible for the worst attack on our democracy. She and Biden and their surrogates talked about the January 6th riot as a threat to our democracy. They labeled MAGA Republicans as semi-fascists and terrorists. Tim Walz calls Trump a terrorist and a fascist and a threat to democracy and puts people's lives in danger. And several of the senators on the left, this Chris Murphy from Connecticut, who needs his head examined, he described
Who I
Trump
went to
as
high school with.
What's that?
I went to high school with.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. We need to talk to him. He described Trump as a candidate explicitly running on the promise of political violence. You start adding these things up, and then you get this crazy guy hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
For 12 hours, and you get this kid on a rooftop. That's what I mean by this is deliberate ignorance. These statements mean something.
Dan Goldman said Trump needed to be eliminated.
Yeah. They say words matter. There's more, though. Do you remember when Schumer said, hey, you annoy the Secret Service and the CIA and all that stuff?
12 ways to get back at you.
12 ways to get back at you.
Yep. All right, live from Studio 6B, more of Vinnie Mac with Slick Rick, News with Delgado, all coming up on a busy and quick Monday night. We're back right after this.
Well, he did sports. He did the recap. That's about 4 or 5 minutes.
These segments are like going so fast, or I don't know. These segments are taking longer.
You must be having fun. You know, gotta be having a good time.
Like we haven't done anything. Well, we not wasted, but 45 minutes listening to
what, Farouk from Montreal?
Kid Checkers.
Hey,
the kid was wetting himself.
That was cool.
Someone in the chat said, I think this kid's close to orgasm. Oh, God, the comments were gold. Absolute gold. Okay. Why does this girl's name sound so familiar to me? I think this girl used to do NFL Sundays.
Who is it?
Fox.
Yes. That is
She
correct.
did?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. That's why it sounds so familiar.
Who?
Jillian Barber.
Oh, Jillian Barber. Is that the
Yeah, I remember her.
She's the spokesperson for Dunkin'.
Oh, wow.
I know that name, too.
Ask her if she wants to join the odds makers. No, I'm kidding. Don't start that.
2-1, she doesn't.
She's going to be able to hear us, so let's not talk. It's about that. First time on the show. Let's try to act.
Like, is that?
How about Kevin the other night after I got done saying kills?
I know.
Oh my God.
Like, what is he doing? That's why I was like dead face. I'm like, I'm not even acknowledging. He's not even breathing as far as I'm
Can't even
concerned.
look. Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
Fran, remember the one time rule as I'm watching here. One time rule.
That was pretty damn
I'll tell
funny.
Michael. It's the 1X.
Anything about the client? Oh man, what about that guy?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Did this guy just not hear me? Oh God, that was funny. I had everything to keep a face. I almost lost.
You did almost lose it.
Looks like it's still not. right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Let's do some news. And here with the news brought to you by our friends at Seven Cells is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, the big news, of course, is what we've been talking about all night. But the interesting angle, again, something that we've talked about, Vin just brought up as well, is how we've been kind of conditioned by this with all the rhetoric coming from the left. Let's start right at the top. Why don't we? With Joe Biden himself. This is cut number 8. Here's Joe Biden talking about putting Trump in the bullseye. You might remember this from a few months back. Cut number 8. Check this out.
You called your opponent an existential threat on a call a week ago. You said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There's some dispute about the context, but I think you appreciate that.
I didn't say crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was there's very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good description.
Doesn't really help.
Hey, I didn't say like...
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's his explanation, this old fool? I mean, come on, give me a break. Yeah. All right, we'll get back to the news here in a second. But, the Fed meeting, and if you're watching me on the morning streams, number one, I appreciate you joining me. And, of course, we're always looking at the stock market open and what's going on with the Federal Reserve and interest rates. And interest rates, we think, are going to get cut on Wednesday after the Fed's 2-day meeting, 25 basis points. And, of course, these interest rates are killing people. Interest rates on mortgages, interest rates on credit cards, consumer debt's at an all-time high, $17.5 trillion. We've been talking about credit cards going up, savings going down. Credit card delinquencies are at the highest in decades. We know what inflation has been doing with all this reckless spending. And, of course, the Biden administration just poured gas on it when they came in. People are paying more at the pump, more at the grocery store, more to heat their houses. People have unpaid bills. People are deciding whether they want to put gas in the car or put food in the cabinet. It's just bad news all around. But one of the big things that's happening is people are falling behind in credit card payments, and delinquencies are at their highest in decades. And people are thinking, well, I've got to make a change here. And Done with Debt is an innovative new company with a new debt relief strategy specifically designed for these challenging times. Please welcome to live from Studio 6B, Jillian Barbary, who's a well-known TV personality, but more specifically, she experienced debt stress firsthand before becoming a Done with Debt client. Please welcome her to the show now. Jillian, how are you?
I'm really great. Great to be with all you guys. It really I feel like I'm back on the NFL with all the boys.
Yeah, well, we do a segment on Fridays called The Odds Makers, where we pick some NFL games against the spread. You're always welcome to join us if you want to come back on a Friday. We can talk about how to get rid of debt.
Well,
and we can pick some games.
I could throw a good weathercast in there. I don't know how well I do with it.
Okay. Well, what's your experience with personal debt?
Well, here's the thing. I wish I was a good gambler like Jimmy Johnson, but I'm not. Listen, we talk about reckless spending, but, spending sometimes can be medical. I had cancer, a massive breast cancer that I went through for a few years. It could be, unexpected in your life. It could be a loved one who gets older. You never know what could hit you and when. Most Americans right now, I think it's 1 out of 3, are maxed out completely. And it could be your mortgage, your rent. Like, they're not just, frivolously spending. This is sort of like, oh, my kids' tuitions or this or that, or the next thing. And so, all of a sudden, life creeps up on you and you are massively in debt. So maybe you trust the wrong people with your money and you think you're going to be taken care of. And it's like, guess what? Nope. So, the Done with Debt people, what they do is it's sort of a 3-pronged system. If you've ever been at dinner with your family and the phone rings and you're freaking out, you don't want to answer it because it's like, is it a bill collector? Is it IRS? Who is it? You go to your mailbox. You don't want to, you're like, oh, bill, IRS, yay. It's a nightmare. So what they do is they immediately stop all of that. Done with Debt just stops the phone calls, they stop the harassing calls and the letters, and they start a system. They will immediately work with all the banking institutions and the credit card companies just to sort of say, whoa, let's get on a plan. Some of those companies will work for pennies on the dollar, because basically it's like, look, these people don't have anything, so take this or kind of pound sand. And they will. Sometimes they'll completely let the debt go, which, the average consumer doesn't know. Like, I didn't know that sitting at home. And so they'll do that. And it's pretty amazing what they can achieve for you as an average citizen of the United States. You don't know this, and they will work with them for you. They get a plan going. Done with Debt just sort of spearheads it all for you. And before you know it, they get you on a plan to get you back working, in society on a good level, even if it's little bits at a time. It's just so you're not freaking out. Because that anxiety level, by the way, I had death and taxes at my door at the same time. Ding dong, back door, front door, like that. And my stress was like, yeah, it was way up there. And it's horrible.
Yeah, and one of the things is when you get into credit card debt, you get those credit cards, and all of a sudden you start charging, and all of a sudden you look and it's one maxed out, two maxed out. And then, you come into some money or you try to save and you think, okay, now I have enough to do this. And then you never do that. It never finds its way to pay down. And you look back and go, well, geez, I haven't made any dent in this. Getting out of it seems to be so hard. What do you find that's one of the toughest things that people face when they're in debt?
Yeah, it's the catch-up game. And here's the thing. They've got all the time in the world. So basically you're a number, right? You're on a roster and your name comes up again. They just move on to the next person for a while. The worst thing that you have, time is not on your side. So every bill that you tuck away or forget or put in your glove compartment or just out of sight, out of mind is tick-tock for them, right? So fees, think about that. Additional fees or an IRS penalties. Oh my goodness, they just love to put those on. And so it's adding up, it's, multiplying, and it's not going to go away. So for them, they've got all the patience in the world. Your name comes up again. Guess what? Now you're almost double. And it just gets worse and worse and worse, and you're digging. So you're right about that. What Done with Debt will do, they just put you on the best program possible. They don't want you to have a massive loan. They don't want you to go into bankruptcy. So they try to avoid all those things. And what they do is just sit on the phone with you. You just pick up the phone, go to donewithdebt.com. It's the first step towards alleviating your anxiety and getting you on the right track to financial stability, basically. And no, it's not like you have to be a super rich person or, but just so that you can sleep at night and financially that you're going to be okay. No one's going to harass you. You just sort of, take a deep breath and that things are going to be taken care of. It's a huge weight off your shoulders. So, and when people ask me, is it, it's a real thing? Yeah, Done with Debt is a real thing. You just have to go to donewithdebt.com, take the first step, because truthfully, it's not going to work itself out for you, right? So if you keep waiting and expecting it to go away, oh my goodness, it's not only not going to go away, it's going to come back twofold. So, that simple.
Well, it's great information, and I know there's a lot of people, and we've all been there. On some of us not too long ago. So great stuff. Donewithdebt.com. Donewithdebt.com. You get a free consultation. And you can share what you're going through with them. And obviously, like you said, go over to donewithdebt.com and check it out. Jillian, we loved everything you've done. Loved you on Sunday mornings, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you guys on Friday. We'll do some pickety picks.
I like it. All right, Jillian Barberie, donewithdebt.com. Jillian, thanks a lot.
Great to see you.
All right, great to see you as well. All right, donewithdebt.com. Great. And listen, it's topical. Right now, the charts don't lie.
Yeah.
You look at credit card debt, you look at where it's being held. We've been talking about, you can go to the government sites, go to Fred, and you can look at the charts. Savings going this way, credit cards going this way. So I know, and we've all been there. I know what people feel. You get a chunk of money and you think, okay, I'm going to knock these down. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, we got to get a new heater. We got to do this. We got to do that. And then you look back and you go, well, geez, I didn't do anything. It's still there.
What happened?
What happened? Where'd the money go?
What happened?
And 25% interest. It's not like there's any relief anywhere.
No.
The interest rates are insane on credit card.
You make a $300 payment, your interest is $272. You're right back to where you started. You just can't get above water.
Yeah.
You cannot get above water. So
crazy.
All right, 39 past the hour. Let's continue the news with Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right, like we were talking about the basically the gaslighting that's been coming from the left, aimed directly at Donald Donald Trump. Whether it be crosshairs or bullseye doesn't seem to matter. As a matter of fact, we actually grabbed this. This is a 3-minute clip, but you only need 32 seconds. But this was MSNBC in 1 hour. Talking about the threat that is Donald Trump. This is cut number 11. And again, this was all grabbed, and I forget who grabbed it, but they consolidated everything from 1 hour on MSNBC into 3 minutes. I'm only giving you 32 seconds. Check this out, cut number 11.
It's not just that Donald Trump poses a threat to democracy. It's that Donald Trump only cares about himself. This is a populist looking to serve his own interests and harm other people and dismantle our democracy and make it just about himself. This is a guy who's doing it on behalf of Putin.
Do you think Trump cares about any of his supporters? I think he's only ever cared about himself. He's still a greasy pig.
He's still a greasy pig.
He said that a hallmark of strongman leaders is they don't care about their followers. Loathes Donald Trump. Things like a lunatic and a criminal, someone corrupt who's bankrupted people. That the goal for all of us to save our republic has to be to keep Donald Trump far away, make sure he never gets anywhere near the Oval Office again.
Yeah, and that's, again, just 32 seconds of 3 minutes from 1 hour on MSNBC. You brought up Dan Goldman? Well, let's bring up Dan Goldman again. Cut number 12, check this out. You might remember this.
Unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
Eliminated.
He almost took a second and thought about it, and then thought, screw it.
Yeah.
Can't stand that guy, by the way.
It's crazy, and it's
Goldman.
everything that they scream, it's right-wing extremists. No, it's left-wing media extremists that are basically gaslighting people and empowering them to try what happened over the weekend. We do have the body cam footage of the suspected. Well, we all know he was the suspected assassin, Ryan Routh, being arrested here on body cam. This is cut number 9. You can see it for yourself. The great police people down in Martin County, Florida, taking this guy in. Check this out.
Keep walking.
Yeah, and they grabbed the guy, they put him in, and you know the rest of the story. The Secret Service, of course, the agent patrolling the perimeter eventually spotted that gunman and opened fire, chasing him off before anyone was hurt. Local authorities say additional perimeter patrols would be obvious safety upgrades when Donald Trump is in town. He's known to frequent the course when staying at Mar-a-Lago, about 15 minutes away, and even though the visit wasn't on his schedule, anyone staking out the area could have been tipped off to his arrival by the motorcade. So there you have that. Again, one of the probably the top story going on. The other big story is Kamala. Finally, they took the training wheels off and let her do an interview.
Yeah, we have the 6 questions and answers. If you want to hear some of it, Vinny brought it to my attention. Said this is must show on the show.
Yeah.
But basically, this was basically the way Kamala starts off every question that she answers. This is cut number 20. Check it out.
I was born a poor black child.
Yeah. So basically, that's anytime there's a question for Kamala, she talks about her start.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm drinking decaf. Holy cow!
We'll try to get to question 1.
That
we'll do sports so we can comment a little on
that was answer number.
And the host, once again, out to lunch. So a minute 30 into gobbledygook that has nothing to do with that very easy basic question, how do you not jump in and say, Madam Vice President, the question was, can you give this guy...
Let me tell you how I grew up.
I wish I could see the camera shot on him.
I played with
What he was
dolls
doing.
for a couple of years. I used to watch the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family, and you know, I worked at McDonald's. Oh, well, was it Burger King or McDonald's? I think I worked at McDonald's. She just goes off. I don't know how they actually let her get away with talking like that for that long. How these are first a local reporter too. I would think more of this local reporter asking difficult questions, you know, following up.
I mean, none of them.
And they're not the national ones.
Just jump in and say, "Excuse me." The question was, do you have two specifics on how you're going to do that? I'm not asking you to give me the quantum theory of relativity. I mean, just give me two examples of how you're going to lower costs for Americans. She said people value their lawn.
Yes. A lot of people would enjoy that because, you know, that's something that they can
And
connect
he
with.
didn't say anything to her.
Yes.
Amazing. Absolutely.
That's why no one trusts the media, man. They just it's just so blatant these days. It was blatant before, but everywhere I turn, I just can't believe the level of blatancy in our face. It's like getting a pie in your face. You know, when you watch them just let her slide so bad. And Trump, man, all Trump has to say is one little thing off. You know, he shouldn't have said, "I hate Taylor Swift." I wish he didn't say that.
No.
You know, okay.
Did he?
Yeah, he said, "I hate Taylor Swift." But they're going to ride that for the longest period of time, too.
All right, so I think it's cut one, Aaron. We'll just play that quick, then we'll get to sports. I cannot believe this segment's out. I know it's because.
I wonder if they're still going on about it.
Sure they are.
Oh, here's Donald.
He's got the kids on. He's got Donald. They got Don Jr. They got Erica.
Barron probably came.
Barron's making a cameo.
Yeah.
You know it's serious.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B, Hour 2, last segment of the show on what seems like the fastest show we've ever done. I can't believe it's the last segment. Vinnie Mac's here. He's been giving us some thoughts on some things bothering him. Slick's going to do a little more sports before we leave. Delgado's trying to get some news done, but man, this show is going so fast. It's just crazy.
A lot bothering me.
So we were talking about the Kamala interview. Let's just get through one example of not what a disaster she is, but quite frankly, what a disaster the guy asking reasonable questions, but then doing nothing.
Yep.
As she babbles on about nothing. So here's question one, right out of the box. Roll that.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Simple question.
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know? Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And and I was raised
Sounds seedy.
to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
I believe in miracles.
And green lawns.
And that
And green lawns.
She smoked it.
we
Venn
as
diagrams.
Americans have a beautiful
And school buses,
character.
electrics.
You know, we have
And maybe a Damon gnome for
ambitions
your
and
garden.
aspirations
Yeah.
and dreams,
That's
but not
That'd be
everyone
fun.
necessarily
The question was
access to the resources that can help them
specifics
fuel those dreams
on
and
how
ambitions.
you bring prices down for Americans.
Every question was answered this way.
Oops, that was me.
What happened there?
The whole damn studio's
I'm
upset
shaking
now.
the desk because I just can't believe this guy doesn't jump in and say something.
But even Paul Luna got upset about that. He kicked something over here. We all remember Paul, the great Paul.
2 minutes in, he's still sitting there as she's going on about lawns.
Every question was answered that way, and she got away with it.
Of course.
I mean, that is crazy. You hear the silence in the room when she does the lawn thing, and she does that look like,
Like you get it?
And no one, and it's like, what?
You know what I mean?
You know,
No.
when you get the lawn and you're mowing it, right?
Joe soiled himself when he heard that. I mean, come on.
I mean, it just went on from there, too. Just absolute babbling nonsense.
And you fertilize it? Fertilize the lawn?
She never gave 2 examples of how she's going to lower cost. Never. Never did. What was it? What was the second question, Aaron? Let me see the clip. What was the second question? I don't even need to see her answers.
No, the answer starts the same, too.
What was the second question?
So when I talk about
No. Give me the next clip. What was the question? The next one, number 2. Yeah, so play that.
Opportunity economy.
No,
it
should start
very
with
much with the mind
that's still
of
cut 1, isn't it?
investing in the ambitions and aspirations.
All right, go to cut 3, and then something screwed up.
You talked at the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward.
Yeah.
I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are 1 or 2 spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Me too.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And
that's one.
You know, I offer a new generation of leadership.
That's true, I guess.
So, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where
same
it's
thing.
about investing in
that's
areas
enough, Aaron.
that really
That's what you got.
need a
I mean, this is why they're trying to keep her close to the vest.
The word opportunity economy is so insulting because it means nothing.
Right.
And there's nothing behind it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, all right, let's do sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you're going to shop at MyPillow. We appreciate when you do. Great way to support the show. Support Mike Lindell. And as we head into the holiday season, I know there's much shopping to do, and I would encourage you to do it all at MyPillow because they got great stuff. Plus, we'll sweeten the deal and give you one of our shirts absolutely free if you use promo code LFS6B at checkout. Slick, what's going on?
Monday Night Football. Eagles right now continue to lead the Falcons 7-6. Falcons adding a field goal right before the half there to cut the lead to 1 by 13 to go in the third. I know we got 5.5 points late on the line there, so we'll see what happens. And Falcons with the ball driving, they're in the inside the 40. Okay, so Major League Baseball getting down to the wire. We got the Braves and the Dodgers right now 9-0. The Dodgers leading the Braves, which is good for the Mets, who won 2-1 earlier today over the Nationals. So very good. Royals trail the Tigers 7-6, top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th, Cubs are 9-2 over the A's. Brewers 5-1 over the Phillies. Right now, you have in the AL Baltimore, Kansas City, and Minnesota all vying for wild card spots. San Diego, Arizona, New York Mets, and Atlanta in the National League also vying for a wild card spot. 3 teams get in on each, as well as the division winners of the 3. So 6 teams in both the NL and AL. So getting down to the wire, less than 2 weeks to go in the Major League Baseball season, and we'll be in the playoffs. So good stuff. Just want to get to one quick story. Just breaking a little earlier. Donald Trump to attend Alabama-Georgia rivalry game in Tuscaloosa this month, report said. Former president to attend event 2 weeks after facing second assassination attempt. Now, this is a little concerning that he's going to go out there, but leave it to the president, right? Scott Thompson of Fox News reporting, former President Trump will be on hand for one of the most anticipated college football matchups in Week 5, according to political commentator Mark Halpern. Trump, the Republican candidate in this year's presidential election, heads to Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa to watch the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide take on the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs on September 28th. Both the Crimson Tide and Bulldogs are undefeated, making this early SEC rivalry game a big one in terms of polling and college football playoff implications. This is also a significant appearance for Trump because it will come almost 2 weeks after the Secret Service opened fire on a concealed suspect who appeared to be aiming a rifle at the former president at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida. So, and it goes on to talk about the suspect, Ryan Wesley Routh. I'm going to get into all that, Big D, but what do you think about the president going in front of a big stadium like that? Scary.
It's scary, but I love this guy.
Oh, you got to love him.
I love that he's doing that. It is scary. I love that he's doing it, though. And I heard he's getting some challenges here in Alabama too, which was a bit of a slam dunk for him. So he's probably going for that reason.
Roll Tide, roll. I hope Trump does the same rolling. Big D, that's a wrap in sports.
All right. Anything else quickly, Delgado, on your radar?
Yeah, this was my favorite clip from the weekend. Of course, we might remember Kamala Harris with her outlandish claims during the debate, many of which have been fact-checked, but these guys actually fact-checked Kamala Harris themselves from the front lines. Here is cut number 7. Check this out.
No?
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century. What? But let's understand. So where the are we right now?
That's total nonsense.
Where
we knew
are we
that
right
when she
now?
said it.
Yeah, active members of our military currently serving in harm's way.
Well, you guys talked about this whistleblower that has an affidavit that said this whole thing was set up, right?
Yeah.
You guys talked about that?
Yep, we talked about that on Thursday, and I did see something come out over the weekend, but I didn't. I can't tell if it's real or not. So I didn't want to bring it up just yet.
Yeah, Vinnie Mac, anything else quickly on your mind?
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up because when I heard about it, first off, I'm like, I don't know. And then I heard about it. I'm like, well, maybe I haven't seen anything on it yet. But if you hear the claims, which I have here, they make so much sense. That you got to kind of take it seriously. Whistleblower claims they insisted on certain conditions that Trump will be aggressively fact-checked, and she wouldn't be. Okay. Harris wouldn't be asked any questions about covering up for Joe Biden's dementia. She wasn't. Harris asked any questions about her record as Attorney General. None. Right? Harris was not going to be asked about her brother-in-law, Tony West, a former top Obama, DOJ, and Uber executive who alleged to embezzle millions. Yeah. There's a series of them that make sense. So maybe there's some smoke here. Rick, you mentioned this last time we were on.
I totally agree. There's no way that was naturally how everything came out for her. There's no way. No way. If that was true, she'd be doing interviews every day. All right. I want to thank everybody on the show. I want to thank Rab Mod and 1 and 2 for being here tonight, live in studio. Great job. Aaron Frank, great job as always. We feel rushed tonight, but we will see you tomorrow night for, Trump event and maybe show. Live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.
Oh, my God. Where did that shoe come from?